Hi friends, welcome back to another video tutorial of TIA Portal. Today we are going to have a look at the Siemens Human Machine Interface HMI. This video will be the first video of a series of videos about HMI using Siemens panels and the TIA Portal. In today's video we will talk about HMI hardware, how to link HMI with PLC and our PC, and how to configure a simple HMI program with a switch element to change the state of input and output in PLC logic. Let's first look at what HMI is. HMI stands for Human Machine Interface and is a user interface through which an operator interacts with a machine, systems, or device. Its primary goal is to simplify complex processes, enabling real-time control and monitoring of operations. It typically consists of graphical displays, touch screens, buttons, switches, and sometimes even voice commands to control machinery and systems. It can be also connected to a PLC logic and display it on the screen for troubleshooting purposes. HMIs use special software so we can program and use them. Simatic WinCC by Siemens is one of these HMI software used in industrial automation. It offers a range of features for creating HMI applications, including animated graphic objects, alarm management, reporting, and integrating with external database from the machine level area right up to SCADA systems. Here you see different kinds of Simatic WinCC. Simatic WinCC Basic for simple solutions, optimized to control the basic panels. Comfort for implementation of complex tasks and high-performance visualization applications. Advanced for simple single-user systems, especially on the machine level. Professional for multi-user systems and SCADA solutions in small and medium-sized plant. And Simatic WinCC Unified, the modern visualization system that brings visualization functions to a variety of platforms. Here you see the KTP700 Basic panel. Since we can use simulation for all HMI panels, I decided to use this panel in our video. Under the touch screen, there are some function keys on the panel. Bottom of the panel, we have important connections. The power supply providing 24-volt DC and a USB port can be connected to an external mouse or keyboard or memory stick. And a Profinet interface. We can link this HMI with PLC or other devices including PC using this interface to download the HMI program to the panel. Let's start with working with this panel. After switching on the panel, this will be the startup screen. This screen shows up each time we start the HMI. The function of the transfer is to configure how we want to transfer the HMI screen into the HMI device. Set the Enable Transfer switch to On to transfer the project. Suppose you have already transferred the HMI project and you don't want anybody else to put any program in your HMI panel or take out the program. You can disable again the transfer switch to off to prevent any unauthorized access. When the automatic transfer is activated, we can start a transfer from the configuring PC while the project is running. The running project will be closed in this case and the new project will be transferred. The new project starts after it is transferred. The Start button will start the project which we have loaded in the HMI. Then in the settings, we will have different calibration options for the HMI to define IP address and change the brightness, date, time, and other parameters that come in the settings screen. Let's continue with configuring some important settings of the HMI. The first setting is date and time. Network Time Protocol NTP. If the HMI is connected to some networks, it can take this time automatically from the network. Otherwise, if you go here, date and time, you can manually enter it here. Then we have to configure auto start or wait time. If the auto start is on, when we restart the HMI, it takes some time to show the HMI project on the touch screen. This time we can adjust here. If you want to minimize the time, you can put it back to 0 here. The next is activating password protection. We can define a password to access the panel in access protection. So when you click on that, you can put your password here. The main setting of HMI comes when we want to link our HMI with PLC or PC and transfer our program. We need to assign an IP address to the HMI panel, like how we do it for a PLC. You have to make sure that your HMI has a unique IP address. This is one of the main criteria when you're defining the networks. Every device should have a unique IP address. So you need to have an IP address in the HMI and IP in your PC. Since PLC will be communicating with the HMI over an Ethernet-based network, we need to configure an IP address for the PLC, which is on the same subnet as the HMI. For example, in this case, if your PC has this IP 192.168.0.10, then the HMI and PLC should have the same IP with just the last digit changed. It can be, for example, 1 and 2. If you select the auto negotiation entry, the transmission mode and speed in the Profinet network will be automatically detected and set. If the LLDP switch is selected, the HMI device exchanges information with other HMI devices. Okay, now we can create a project and send it to the HMI panel. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new project. I'm going to call this HMI. Now configure a device and add new device. From the controllers, select your PLC. I don't need a password for my PLC. I'm going to select full access without any protection. Now let's add the HMI panel. To do that, click Add New Device or go to the portal view and then click Add New Device, HMI. Depending on your TIA version and license, you will see more or less HMI panels here. Choose your Siemens panel. The panel that I presented to you is from the 7-inch Basic Series KTP700. Here you see the KTP700 Basic panel. For KTP700, you have two models with Profinet and Profibus connection ports. According to the model number, add one of these panels. If you click Add, Windows HMI Device Wizard will be opened, in which we have to define some parameters for the HMI. You can uncheck this box and continue without the device wizard, but you have to do some parameters manually. If you are a beginner, it's better to do that with device wizard. At first, TIA asks for the PLC that the HMI is communicating with it. Click Browse and select the PLC. Next, you see the resolution here, which is defined for this panel and we cannot change it. Headers like date and time and logo of Siemens, if you want, you can show on HMI. You can even put your own logo. To do that, select your photo with Browse here. Then you have some alarm and events screens. So if you want to have these screens, you can activate these boxes. Alarm and events we will discuss in another video. Alright, then we go into the next and we can see how many screens we have. So this is the root screen. Let's say we need one more screen in addition to the main screen. To add another screen, click the plus sign here. Now we have another one with the name screen 0. With another click, we will have screen 1. With right click, we can delete, rename, or even add a screen. Then comes the system screens. Here you can select which system screens you want in your project. These system screens include your Siemens schematic PLC, diagnostic view, project information, your user administration if you want ID and password control, your system information and some operation modes, language switching, and stop runtime options. Last screen, we can define some buttons for the start screen, log on, language, or exit buttons. Click finish. Once we click finish, TIA will prepare the project. Now we've got one folder for PLC here and another one for our HMI panel. To see better what we have done with Device Wizard, open Device and Networks and tap Network View. As you see, there is a network connection between PLC and HMI via Ethernet. Press Connection and select here HMI connection. You will see there is now an HMI connection between our PLC and HMI panel. If you open the HMI and connection under the HMI folder, here you see also the details of this communication. IP address of PLC and HMI. Our PLC has full access, so we don't need to write any password here. Go to the device configuration of HMI, double-click on HMI, Profinet interface and Ethernet addresses. Here you should also write the IP address of the HMI that you have assigned to your HMI with the setting. If you open the screen folder, these are the different screens that are automatically created because of the wizard. If you uncheck the device wizard, you have to set all these parameters manually. Double-click on screen 0. You see HMI touch panel appears here. Any sort of design must be inside this area here. If I go properties, I can change the properties of this screen. For example, the background color I can change here, or grid color. Template and layer, I will talk about it later. And then you have other screens here. Next, I'm going to write a simple PLC program to change the state of an output with an input. So I go to my program block in PLC and I will add a logic. We have a bit M0.0 and an output coil Q0.0. This bit is going to actuate the coil. The PLC program is ready, and now I want to change the state of the input using the HMI panel. So we need something on the touch screen. When we touch it, it should change the state of this bit. Open screen 0. If you go to the toolbox, you can find all the objects and elements what we can add to our screens. Drag and drop a switch from elements. The switch element is used to switch between two states like on or off. Now we need to link the switch to the PLC tag. For that, click on switch and then properties, and from general select the tag here. Click 3 points and open the PLC tag table. Click the default tag table, select the bit M0.0. One important thing here, all the variables that we use are all on the PLC, and now we made a link with them to the HMI using the HMI tags. HMI tags are simple like PLC tags in the PLC program. It allows us to identify certain objects on the HMI, such as buttons, lamps, motors, etc. If you open here and double-click Show All Tags, you can see all the tags that are used for HMI. In this table, HMI tags and PLC tags that are linked with them using this connection are listed. Back to the switch properties. On the right side, we can change the mode. The current state of the switch object can be visualized with either a text or a graphic. I'm going to copy the switch and for each one change the mode to see better the differences. The first one is just a simple switch. With label, we can define what to show when changing the state. Second switch with graphics, we need to select two graphics for two states, on and off. The current state is visualized with these graphics. I use, for example, right and left arrows. You can use your own graphics using this button here. The third one is with text. The current state is visualized with a text. The text that will be shown for each state we can define here for on and off state. With the appearance, we can change some properties like the color width and style. With the fill pattern, we can change the background pattern. With the layout, we can adjust the size and position of the switch. And here the text options like font format and size. Other properties like design, limits, layers, and style, also tabs, animations, events, and text are for advanced level, and I will explain in an extra video. So with simple logic in the PLC program and using a switch button on an HMI, we can now turn on and off an output. I'm going to transfer the project to the HMI and PLC. Download the PLC project. Monitor the block to see the change. And simulate the HMI. As you see, when I change the switch on HMI, I can change the state of the input and output in my PLC program. And in this way, I can control and monitor the PLC and my logic using the HMI panel. The first switch is just a simple switch that shows you changing the state. The second switch shows you a picture with each state. And the third one shows a text when we change the state. Alright, that was our first video about the basics of HMI using Siemens panel and TIA Portal. Hope this was helpful for you. In the next videos, we will have more about HMI, how to use other elements and objects in our project, and advanced topics. See you next video, friends. Bye.